everybody. I am Louise as Aviso of Social Studies 1B, and I am your first presenter for today. And our topic is all about the Japanese martial law. Before we proceed to our discussion proper, let's see first our lesson objectives. At the end of this lesson, students should be able to describe the initial period of the Japanese occupation, restate the abuses of Japanese to the Filipino citizens, and apply their acquired knowledge in a written context. The Japanese occupation started in the year 1941 and ended in 1945. On December 7, 1941 at 7:55 a.m., the Japanese attacks the Pearl Harbor Naval Base in Hawaii. Because of this incident, dito mas lalong uminit yung alitan ng Japanese and Americans and also the Philippines because in this time, before it happens, hawak-hawak tayo or we are being colonized by the Americans at that time. So, pinasabog ng mga Japanese yung Pearl Harbor, which is the base of the Americans. And based on my research, the Japanese military had this concept wherein all the foreign occupiers should be or must be expelled in Asia. Kaya parang yun yung naging isa din nilang reason kung bakit sila or bakit nila tayo sinakop at that time. Japan had ambitious plan to dominate and conquer the whole East Asia. So yun nga, yung Japan is may plano sila to take over all the East Asian country para mas mapakita nila that they are one of the most powerful country in the world. And now, let's proceed to the first Japanese air attacks. Few hours after they bombed the Pearl Harbor, Japanese air squadrons swept the Philippine skies, spreading a horrible shadow death. Davao City, Baguio, Tarlac, Clark Field, and Tuguegarao were bombed. General Douglas MacArthur. He led defending the Philippines and United States soldiers. He also then designated as commander of the United States Armed Forces in the Asia-Pacific region, and he also the one who declared Manila as an open city. So, kilala na natin si General Douglas MacArthur. Ilang beses na rin natin siya na-tackle. So, yun nga, alam natin na he is one of the most influential and great contributor here in our country. On January 2, Japanese occupied Manila. The Japanese military immediately began organizing a new government structure in the Philippines, although they promised independence for the island after the occupation. So, ayun nga, as you can see, since we are being colonized na by the Japanese, they started to organize or create a new government. And also, since they already occupied Manila, doon na sila nag-start magkaroon ng parang tinatawag nilang martial law laban sa atin and also laban sa mga American. General Masaharu Homa, he is the commander-in-chief of the Japanese Imperial Forces, and he also issued the proclamation announcing the end of American occupation and the imposition of martial law in the country. So, very familiar na rin tayo kay General Masaharu Homa since natakal na rin natin siya before. He was the leader during the Japanese occupation. And sabi nga dito, siya rin yung nag-announce or nag-proclaim and nag-declare na tapos na yung pagkakakolonize natin under the Americans because under na tayo ng Japanese at that time. January 3, 1942, the Japanese High Command established the Japanese Military Administration to supervise the popular, economic, and cultural affairs of the conquered nations. So, dito na nag-start yung pag-establish ng Japanese Military Administration para may mamuno or para may maging mata, kumbaga, sa mga nagaganap in our economic and cultural affairs na related dito sa ating bansa. Major General Yoshihide Yahashi, he is the first Director General of the Japanese. Major General Takashi Wachi, he is the second and last General Director of the Japanese. Father Rufino Santos, he became the first Filipino Cardinal of the Catholic Church and Archbishop of Manila. He was imprisoned due to engaging in supervision activities. Other priests are also imprisoned because of this. And lastly, George B. Vargas. He is the mayor of the Greater Manila before the Japanese occupation.
Hello, minasan konnichiwa. In English, good day everyone. I am Nicole Bulanhagui, your second reporter for this topic, which is the Japanese martial law. And here are the learning objectives. At the end of this lesson, a student should be able, the first is describe the initial period of the Japanese occupation. Second is restate the abuses of Japanese to the Filipino citizens. And the last one is apply their acquired knowledge in a written context. But of course, before we proceed to the main topic, let's just give some short background about why Japan colonized Philippines. And one of the main purpose why Japan colonized Philippines is first is naghahanap sila ng pangkukuhanan ng resources dahil sa Japan hindi available yung natural resources sa bansa nila. And like example na lang dito is yung sa gas and yung mga gamit na pampaunlad ng kanilang bansa. And dahil yung Japan ay isang mataas or parang mataas yung pagmamahal nila sa bansa nila or yung pagka-patriot nila sa kanilang bansa. Kaya gusto nilang umunlad yung kanilang bansa. And second is about sa racism. Hindi sila pinayagang magbigay ng statement tungkol sa racial equality sa Covenant of League of Nations dahil pinigilan sila ng United States. And at this time, no, nag-uumpisa na yung World War II, which is parang dito na naging venue yung Pilipinas sa war between Japan and US. But yung Philippines is nagisama siya sa US dahil that time, no, kakatapos lang ng pag-colonize ng American sa Philippines kasi that time yung US is malakas yung kanilang power when it comes sa war. And dito na din nag-start yung Japanese martial law. And yes, this is the continuation of the report of Louise. So then back to our main topic, which is the Japanese martial law. And pag narinig nyo yung salitang martial law, ano yung idea or pumapasok sa mga isip nyo? And yung answer is pwedeng paki-comment sa comment section. And take note lang pala guys na nag-start yung pagsakop ng Japan sa Philippines is noong 1942. And in that time, no, talagang laghanap yung pananakit ng mga Hapones sa mga kapwa natin Pilipino, like sa execution or pagpatay and arbitrary arrest, which is pwedeng gawin ng mga kempeitai sa kahit anong oras. Then take note that the word kempeitai ay tawag sa mga military police ng Japan. And of course, one of the most dreaded word in Japan is the word kura, meaning parang papalapitan ka ng mga kempeitai or parang tatawagin ka nila at bigla ka nilang sasampalin ng walang dahilan. Like parang tinawag ka nila na gamit yung word na kura, then papalapitan ka nila at bigla ka nilang sasampalin or any physical abuse gamit yung movement ng kanilang mga kamay. And dahil din sa war na ito, no, madaming Pilipino yung mga namatay, lalo na sa mga nakabilong sa resistance movement, which is sa resistance movement na ito yung mga tao na isa sa mga nakikipaglaban for their freedom, and karamihan sa mga taong ito ay mga Pilipino. And yung example na mga malulupit na ginawa ng mga Hapon ay ito, yung mga and also, nung Japanese period is mahirap yung transportation. And yung mga ginagamit nila is like sa bike and docars or what we call mga gareta. And yun yung mga ginagamit nila for transporting goods and foods from Manila to Guagua, Pampanga. And meron din ang ginagamit sa mga water transport like yung casco or a large bangka pulled by motor boat. And meron ding sikat na train na ginagamit yung mga Pilipino back then, that period, which is the Manila Railroad Company. Parang siya yung, ito yung train, which is sinira din ito ng mga Japan. Then, the Taliba, Lavangiria, Tribune, and Liwayway are some of the Japanese occupation. Then, this Japanese occupation is matatakal din sa next reporter. And the Taliba, Lavangiria, Tribune, and Liwayway are some example of propaganda back then in the Japanese period. And these were placed under Osaka Mainichi Publishing Company or a group that established the Manila Shinbunsha Corporation. And during this period, sa mga gustong mag-publish ng mga newspaper, periodicals, or journal is dapat may military permit and should be submitted to military censorship. Then, pag hindi mo na-meet yung standard na yon or yung mga way or yung process ng pag-publish ng newspaper na yon is merong punishment na pwedeng gawin nila sa'yo and pwede din kanilang patayin. And also, sa time na yon is kilala yung mga Pilipino as a religious people and importante sa kanila yung mga simbahan and yun yung isa sa maging way ng mga Japan para makuha yung mga loob ng mga Pilipino para sumunod sa system nila. And yes guys, meron pa namang konting kabutihan mga ginawa ng Japan noon, which is yun no, parang did not wish Japan to incur open hostility with the church, and they declare the Christian in the Philippines where Japan assured freedom from religion. And then, nagpunta si Hideki Toho sa Manila for granting independence of the Filipinos were called the Philippines for the Filipinos. Kung saan no, naging program ito or naging system ito ng Japan which is kung saan is want nilang makuha yung cooperation ng mga Pilipino for Japan government para daw masunod yung mga Japan, parang mapasunod nila yung mga Pilipino gamit yung Japan government. Or to be specific, yung program na yun is ginamit ng Japan para makuha yung loob ng mga Pilipino para mapasunod ng Japan government yung mga Pilipino. Then, in conclusion, as students na merong hangarin na makapagtapos ng pag-aaral, we must focus and appreciate every single day of our lives. And yung mga pagod din ng mga magulang natin. Because kung titingnan natin yung scene in the Japanese martial law, no, maraming buhay ang nawala at nasayang dahil dito. And we must love one another because the Philippines is for the Filipinos. And yes, Guro, hinihintay ka ng bayan.